If you haven't seen it, Nutty just released a huge streamer.bot tool that allows you to integrate all of your multiple different streaming platforms if you're doing multi-streaming, and a couple merch platforms to get every alert you could possibly need in one place. A huge toolkit for multi-streamers that I think will be invaluable for everyone. I will have a link to that in the description below. The thing that I found missing from it personally for my use case, this is one of those things where everyone has different needs, is I use Shopify for my merch, not Fourth Wall or Stream Elements or whatever. Shopify doesn't have the same kind of integrations for these kinds of things. On Stream a while back, I sat down to figure out how to do my own Shopify streamer.bot integrations so that I could build my own merch notifications for my stream, my own merch alerts. I think it pairs perfectly with Nutty's release. I've been waiting, trying to find the time to put this video together from that stream for a while. I think pairing that with telling you to go check out Nutty's tool for everything else is the perfect time, because if you are doing multi-streaming, if you're really trying to go all in on being your own creator, own independent publication, and you want merch, you may end up in the Shopify camp. And the only option to get alerts on your stream from Shopify is through one of the Shopify plugins, which is like an $8 plus month subscription. And it has old school, like back when Streamlabs' roots were just streamalerts.com, like those old school level of alerts. They look horrible. So I wanted to make my own. So here's how you do that. And otherwise, go watch Nutty's video and download his tool to do all the other integrations, because he just solved just about everyone's problems. And before you do that, maybe consider checking out our sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community full of tons of people trying to learn how to become a streamer, how to become a YouTuber, an artist. And specifically, I want to highlight some coding courses that I think would benefit you if you want to continue down this rabbit hole of making custom tech for your streams. We'll learn more about them later in the video. Check out the link in the description to get a free 1-month trial. I'm going to build alerts for my shop, and there's going to be a few different ones that I'm going to show off. You got a small business, you're selling art, you're selling products, you're doing assets on Gumroad, you are promoting your Patreon, you want to involve that in your stream so you can shout it out whenever people subscribe. We can do that with streamer.bot. Kind of. So the first element for this is obviously having streamer.bot. And if you go to their website, but come back over here to streamer.bot, you log in, you're going to log in with Discord and go to settings. They have integrations down here for webhooks. So they have Ko-fi, Patreon, and Shopify. And then they have some others as well. Fourth Wall is an option. So I have a Shopify shop that is the glitch.mov shop that I run my assets, my photo prints, my OBS course. All of that is run through Shopify. And so you go to your Shopify admin, to your notification settings, paste this in a webhook, and then you need to get the secret from it. I'm going to do that slightly off camera so you don't see my secret code. But I am going to go to the URL. I'm going to go to webhooks. And I'm going to copy my webhook secret, which I do not want you to see. And then I click enabled. And they are saved. So what this did, this is managed through the website rather than the bot itself, is it tied my streamer.bot account, which is accessed through the app, to my Shopify with webhooks. And with the webhooks, they have hooks for order creation, for order payment, and a couple others that you can look up in the Shopify documentation if you want. But you don't need to, since we're not custom coding something here. And now in streamer.bot, we're going to have that in the integrations for a trigger. So we're going to make a new action. We're going to call this Shopify purchase. We're going to call this a group of alerts because we have not made an alerts group yet. And I'm going to click OK. Now we're going to add a new trigger. We're going to go to integrations and we are going to go to Shopify. Now you can see here order created and order paid. For the way I have my shop set up, orders are not going to go through without being paid, as far as I'm concerned. So I don't care about differentiating that. So I'm just going to do Shopify order created as my trigger. And that is all I need for the trigger. Next is to actually set up and build an alert, which could be done many different ways. I could also set it to like change lights or react in some other way, send a message in chat, all of those things. We're going to keep it relatively simple in that we are going to build an alert in OBS to show this. So for this, I'm actually going to run a separate instance of OBS that I made here just for a test bed. And we're going to build the scene in there, and then we can export it using Exceldros plugin to my main OBS. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up for 4K. So I don't have to convert anything once I make it. And then we're going to make a graphic for this. I haven't actually made this in advance because I wanted to make it for the tutorial. So we're gonna muck around a bit. I don't have Photoshop on this computer, so we're going to have to get a little special here. Now, something that this integration will not let you do, and I don't know if they have, like, I go to Shopify here. They don't have anything to pull the like image from your purchase, which is a big downside here. Now, there is something you can get. There is a Shopify app called Shopify Stream Alerts. This builds out very basic old school Streamlabs looking alerts for your stream and lets you customize them a little bit. But it requires you to pay $9 per month. $9 per month, which is why I wanted to build it out myself. And you can see here, they pull an image and all that. And you can build it yourself. Like I think the streamer.bot method is going to be a short-term option. And longer term, I'm going to hire somebody on Fiverr or something to build out a basic web app for this. Because hosting it yourself, like I've looked enough into webhook stuff and like tinkered around with building my own tools for it to know that it's not that complicated. Like if you know what you're doing. And so it would not be worth paying $9 a month for unless you just don't. Like you could pay 20, 30 bucks, 50 bucks. I don't know how much, but someone on Fiverr to build the basic webhook for this. But we are at a disadvantage in that regard. Now, Shopify event, Shopify ID. Here we go. Line items. So it can pull. What is this formatting? Why is description cut off here? What is this table? Oh, there's a scroll bar all the way at the bottom of the page. How am I supposed to know that? Okay. So we want the item's name. That is all we want. Item's name. I don't think it has the capacity to pull an image with this. I'm only seeing numbers and strings. Yeah, that's fine. So we just want the item name and the name of the person that bought it. Item name is, if we scroll all the way down on this horrible table, Shopify.lineitems #.name. Nutty's a lot better at this than I am. So if we add a sub action here, we do want a variable, but I guess as a test, we're just going to write another file. Write to file. Latest purchase, that's fine. When a trigger executes an action, it will automatically generate a set of variables specific to that source and make them available to that action via the argument stack. And this took a little bit of sussing out to figure out because you have to find the exact variables for your text labels. But if you want to integrate with your alert the name of someone who bought something from your shop, or specifically Shopify doesn't reveal that, but the item name for Shopify, it's you got to use percentage signs around these. It's Shopify.line_items (0.name %). So for this one, I don't want it to take over like my full pop-ups. I want it to just be like a little pop-up off to the side. And so we will need some graphics for that. And again, I do not have Photoshop on this computer. I don't even think I have anything Creative Cloud on this computer. Nope. So we'll have to get a little creative here. I'm going to open up Envato Elements, not sponsored, and find a little graphic here. So the idea, we can go ahead and pull up OBS. Is that I want a little pop-up, say bottom left corner, that just says so-and-so bought such and such. We'll need a fun font. We'll need to see what fonts they're using in the Envato thing as like inspiration or to use. Font used is in README file. Perfect. Often I download so many templates that are like in the same vibe that I often always have the fonts already ready to go. But in this case, I do not. Get font, download. We can work on the text side of things. So text, Shopify item, racing. Uh-oh.
The font isn't showing up. Cancel, exit, relaunch. Racing Sands 1. All right. Read from file. That's where we go to documents. Nope. Stream files. Labels. Latest purchase. Okay, of course, there's no text in there. So then we go back to streamer.bot, and I think we can simulate trigger, right? That was an option. Test trigger is not available. Neither is simulate. Great, and we still got to make the latest purchase name.txt file. All right, we'll just put something in here. Billy Bob. And OBS definitive guide. Give us something to work with here. New text. Shopify buyer name. Racing Sands 1. Read from file. Billy Bob. The workflow for this will be that streamer.bot is hooked and told that a Shopify purchase was made. It writes the names to the text files, and then it triggers a reveal of the group with a show and hide transition for the group or the individual sources for this. And this is not going to be very animated since we're chopping up a Photoshop file, but it will work. These are just numbered without any previews. What a terribly laid out thing. I'm glad I didn't pay direct money for this. We're just going to open them all. We got to see what they look like. That one would be good if we could pull the image from the order. But I don't think we can. Same with that one. All right, so none of the image ones. We just kind of want that little spammy text box there. Interesting. No. Oh, kind of. That's more like a music player, though. I could use that for music stuff. We could show that off if we have extra time in the stream. That one could work. I could put the URL in there. Okay. So get rid of the background. Get rid of the back graphic. Get rid of the image. Text. We get rid of the sidebar stuff. We get rid of the title stuff. And we crop in down here. I don't want your AI bullshit, Adobe. All right. So then this we can edit up. No, we want to get rid of this text. And we just want this one. www.glitch.mov. We export as PNG. Stream files. Shopify. Alerts. Add that image. Ooh. And before we finalize it, we want to come up here to the title bar. New shop order. And maybe we make that white. Yeah. And we're going to save that PSD to here as well. We want it to like spam up and then it'll reveal the text. So like 1, 2, 3, and I could animate this in like a WebM and then have that play instead of doing it in OBS, but honestly, decoding that would be more work than just having it animate itself. 4, like that. Blink it on, and then add text. We don't need to add text. I already added the text. Buyer name, which was Billy Bob, and Shopify item. Now, I have to make these fit a little better. WebMs are pretty web, though. Yeah. All right, so instead of this font, I don't like it. Well, we'll try the what was the other one called? Patrick? I don't see it. What was it called? Patrick Hand. Is that what it was called? There it is. It looks like Comic Sans. For the demo, this is fine. And then for transitions, I'm going to add a new transition. Actually, do I need to do it that way? Show transition. Yeah, I need to make one. Okay. So we're going to swipe each of them in. So like show transition, and you can set separate transitions for individual sources. So we'll do swipe, swipe in, swipe right. I wish I could do both up and down. Unfortunately, you cannot. So if I hide it, show it, boom. So then same thing here. Same thing here. I wish you could save these transitions. I realize the UI for that gets kind of messy. And then for the text, so if we, pop all of these up, and the swipe, the way it like wipes left to right, kind of makes it look like loading, slow loading a pop-up. The text, I feel like, should be something fancier. It's going to be super small. No one's going to care overall. Checkerboarding could look like pixelization. Yeah. And then those can come on at the same time. And then it needs to wait and hide them off. So same thing here. And then swipe left. Swipe left. Swipe left. Swipe left. Swipe left. And swipe left. And then we need to put all of these in a group. Shopify alert. If I fire the group off, it won't delay it enough. So they need to be fired off individually, which is really annoying. Because they got to cascade. Like, do. And these three should come in. Well, these two should come in about the same time, a little faster after those one. So, all of that built in OBS. Now we have to fire it off in our sub action. So we wrote the name, assuming that works. We have no idea if it actually worked. OBS sources. Now, we are not connected to this version of OBS. So we need to do that. Maybe I go on and export this. I don't know. I want to demo it. So WebSocket server settings. We'll do 4456. Enable WebSocket server. Okay. Add. Should just be localhost, except for 4456 is the port. OBS test bed. Okay. Connect. Connected. Okay. The official Zune skin for Windows XP. I did not. I kind of remember it. Like, I've seen it since then, but like in terms of actual memory. All right, so here, sources, set source visibility state. Add an OBS connection. OBS. There we go. We did all that for nothing. Test bed. 4456. Auto connect, reconnect. Okay. Connect. Actions. OBS. Sources. Set source visibility state. We want Shopify alert. No, we want... Oh, can I rename these? Rename. One. Oh, no, it renames them all. Oh, because the way I duplicated them, that's going to be a problem. Well, not so much. All right, if we hide it, we can just figure out which one it is, one at a time. That is the bottom one. Okay, so visible. Continue. Set source visibility state. Oh, no, yeah, it's doing it all. It's only controlling that bottom one. Okay. That is my fault. Okay, we can do this. This is going to be tedious and annoying, but we can do it real quick. So I want to hide all of them that except the bottom one. And we just gotta transform, copy transform, transform, paste transform. How? Transform, copy transform, transform, paste. How is that copying the transform location? What? Does it not store position for that? Transform, edit transform. Position, 92, 252. 92, 252. 985, 546. Is it because it's in the freaking group? It is. All right. Copy transform. Paste transform. This will be 2. Now we need 3.
While I do this boring tedium work, you'll probably notice that I stumble through a lot of these projects due to my lack of programming experience. I had some programming courses in high school, but I never really stuck with it and just never developed the skills that I need to. But I am working on that so I can continue building better tools for my job and to share with you all for streaming. Thankfully, this video sponsor, Skillshare, has many classes on programming, such as object-oriented programming in Python from Alvin Wan. Or if you want to make a whole theme for your shop, since we're doing Shopify stuff here, they have Shopify theme programming from Christopher Dodd. These courses get you up and running with programming basics, as well as fundamentals to do specific tasks that you might want to do in programming. Plus, if you're trying to make these alerts, there's a whole graphic design masterclass from Lindsay Marsh covering Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. That is definitely worth a peek. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives, with thousands of classes led by experts across many industries. There's classes on illustration, game development, YouTubing even, and how to adapt your creative ventures into a career. Skillshare now has these unique learning paths, which create multiple relevant classes together around mastering a specific skill, such as graphic design or programming, which is super helpful. Really feel like I missed an opportunity by not sticking with programming in high school, since I kind of went in a more creative direction. My goal is to really build up these skills over the next couple years, not to be some sort of master programmer, but to just be more competent tinkering with building my own little tools like this moving forward. Let's make 2025 the year we all make more time for creativity and skill building. Skillshare can help you jump into those creative ideas you've been procrastinating until now. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Get started today.
OBS. Sources. Set visibility. 1. Visible. 2. Visible. If anything, this, I guess, should make you appreciate how much work the services like Stream Elements and Streamlabs do for you, I guess. because you have, like, in managing all this yourself, you see the tedium that's involved in just, like, basic stuff. But, Oh. So it shows all of these. Then it needs to wait, delay, in milliseconds, so like 3 seconds. And then it needs to hide all of these again. Can I duplicate these? Yes. So it needs to hide them in the reverse order. I could have just done toggle, but that's fine. And then instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it needs to be the opposite. Hide. And that will animate them back off. Okay. Now, the problem is, having set this up, it does not let me test. So I could go buy something on my Shopify site, I suppose. And we're going to go through and hide all of these. I guess I could do that. We are going to add one more delay. Core delay. We're going to wait 5 seconds after the files have been written. We don't even need to wait that long. We'll wait 2 seconds after the text files have been written to make sure that they get updated in OBS before all this happens, I think is the play. I'm going to order this real quick, and we're going to see if this fires off. And I'm going to be so tragically disappointed when it does not. All right, order has been purchased. I don't know how long it takes to show up from Shopify's webhooks to streamer.bot. Theoretically, the integration should work regardless. It's just a matter of whether the text variables convert properly. I don't want to miss it, but I don't want to just have dead air. How do I know? Pending actions? There's the history. Like, I don't know how long it takes. And obviously, you're going to want a sound effect to play, an activity feed to update, or something so that you know it happens. Replay order. Okay, that is a start. That is a start. We have signs of life. Those go too quickly. We need delays. They all come at the same time. So, 100 milliseconds between each to start. That is exactly what I wanted to look like. Okay. Visually, that's good. Visually, that is good. The text variable does not work. We still have Shopify line item.name in percentages. And the buyer name is a number. Aha! Okay. I think I can show you this. I just didn't want it to, like, dox me. It's got my email, but that's like fine. Okay. I figured it out. We got this, guys. Okay, so after you've run an event, after like something has happened, you go over here to your action queues and go down to action history, and you can inspect what variables it makes. And so here I want the item name, which is shopify.lineitems0.name. So that was that problem. So we come over here, put a 0 there. Theoretically, that'll work. And then the buyer name is not actually in here. Interesting. It does not deliver the person's name. Huh. Okay. So I just don't use that. Seems to be the answer. So we just won't. We'll just delete that. That should work. And then we will change our text sources to look a little different. Instead, we will say Someone just bought. And we'll actually put that on top and put, oh no! We will put that below it. We'll hide all this and we will refire our event. Success! Different variable name, maybe? I mean, it showed, those are all the variables that the trigger delivers, as far as I'm aware. Like, I think it just gives you an order number. Yeah, the name is just the order number. And it could have been because I bought it with shop instead of a manual order and put my name in. But regardless, like, that's fine. We don't need that. Privacy is a concern. So we have it working. Now I have to adjust the text sources to make them fit within the constraints and all that. That's tedious. We don't need to show that right now. But we have built in an hour and a half, we were messing around with other stuff, a Shopify alert. And it looks like pop-ups coming in. Really cool. And I have a whole video dedicated to text extents if you need to figure out how to manage those best right here. You don't want to miss that. And now you can make more money with your stream. Remember to be kind, rewind.